morning. If you can see them spotlighted on your screen, we have Kristen Cambridge, Phil Kirk, and Steph Gray with us this morning to talk about their social media game. So guys, to introduce yourself, I would love for you to say your name, how long you've been in real estate / with Platt, and then I think it would be really fun if you could describe your favorite meme or GIF. I'm sorry I didn't prep you with this question beforehand. I just came up with it. So Steph looks like she has her answer. So Steph, I'm going to make you go first.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Steph Gray. I've had my license since July of last year, and my favorite GIF is Elmo going like this in front of a fire. And I used to think that meant like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And so I would use it in like work settings all the time. And then I realized it means like shit's burning down and everything's fucked up. So that's where I'm at. But I still use it because it's awesome.
That was such an amazing answer. Well done. Kristen, you next.
I'm Kristen. I have been licensed since January of 2018 and have been with Platt a couple years now. Love Platt. Have had a great experience. Favorite meme, I'm not sure about, but I'm really loving that guy on Instagram who's making the videos of the internet drama videos. Has anyone seen them where he sings about stealing a broccoli casserole recipe? Like, my husband's like, you watch that like 500 times, you need to stop. But I love it so much. If you haven't seen it, I can send a link. It's awesome.
Oh, that's so good. All right, Phil.
My name's Phil Kirk. I became a realtor and joined Platt in 2017. My go-to GIF, and then I'll give an honorable mention too, but is this dog that's like his whole world's catching on fire. I feel that almost every day. And then this isn't really a GIF, but I actually posted it yesterday. It's this post that says, waving at the end of every Zoom call like it's the 1800s and a big steamship is leaving the harbor. It's like, this is what we all awkwardly do at the end of every Zoom call. And I don't know why, but it's just so funny that like we never Zoomed a year ago and now we're all waving like the Titanic's floating away. So.
Oh, I saw you post that and I had a real good chuckle. So thank you for bringing that up once again. That's fantastic. Okay, y'all, so we are here to talk about the elusive subject of social media, social meds, if you prefer that abbreviation. So if you, this is your first time agent training panel, there will be some time at the end to ask your questions. So either hang on to them and you can unmute yourself and ask them, or feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm not going to pay attention to them while I'm asking questions, but then I will get to them at the end and read through them. So to our esteemed panelists, your first question of the day, if you had to describe your social media channels in a couple of words, what would you say? Also, I really hope for those of you who are listening to the panel, you've been able to experience some of these three social media channels because they are amazing and they make me happy or laugh like every day. So Steph, I'm going to start with you again.
Are you 3 words or just in general? Just in general.
However many words you would like.
Thank you. Okay, so I would say it is very unique to me in the sense that it is kind of loud and boisterous and a little problematic's not the right word, like a little strong-willed, and that's what I love about it. Problematic's not the right word. I
would say like snappy. Like I just like, yeah.
A little sassy, maybe.
A little sassy. Yeah, that's good. I feel like you're also good. Sorry, I'm going to also add my 2 cents in. I think you're also good at explaining real estate concepts that are kind of just nebulous and hard to understand in a really funny way. If you haven't seen her TikTok videos, y'all are truly missing out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Phil, you next. You're muted, sir. Oh, you already caught it. Well done.
I would say my kids are like screaming right at me right now.
Seriously? I can't hear a
yes.
thing.
No, like right
Truly.
there. I would say, yeah, my stuff is like either very planned, very unplanned, but always edited. Like it's always edited down, smoothed over before I shoot it out. But it's either very spontaneous or not spontaneous at all.
Yeah, that's so good. Also, I have loved your recent addition of, I don't know what you're calling it these days, but like
Oh yeah, your
the
RAV4.
RAV4.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it the
Realtor in the RAV.
Ravine Realtor.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
What happens when you
working title.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Following you both after Rosie asked us to join, and you have 2 very different styles, but I've learned things from you, and I think that's great. I would describe my style as I post a lot of dope design and kid shit. When Rosie asked me what my style or to post because I had a distinct style, I was like, what is that random kid shit? I do post a lot of my kids. I see the most interaction with my audience from posting, like throwing a random picture of my kid in the middle of a real estate thing. And I think it's just, I mean, I won't go on my TED Talk yet, but good to remind people that you're a real person outside of being a realtor. So
yeah, that's so good.
I think your kid just creeped up behind you.
Yeah. Welcome to my life. We have 2-hour delay today, so we're getting her on the bus in the middle of this Zoom call. Yep.
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna keep speaking even though Chris was saying hey to Taylor. I also think that one of Kristen's gifts is I think she can show homes in a very interesting way, especially through her stories on Instagram. I mean, I follow literally all of you on Instagram, and I think like sometimes I'm like, whew, I can't see like more homes, and I just like swipe through. But I think I find it interesting when Kristen posts, and I can't even put a word to it, but I think like I feel like I always click through everything that she does regarding houses. So okay, so Phil, you already touched on this a little bit, so I'm going to start with you on this question. But are your posts planned out or spur of the moment? And if they are planned out, can you talk more about what that looks like, what the process behind planning them out means for you?
Yeah, so I basically there's a large portion of my posts that are completely like 100% planned out. Those are the posts actually that I don't do myself. So my assistant Lisa, anytime we pen something or close something or do something where it's like, okay, this is like an easy announcement kind of thing, she runs with that and she posts about it, and I don't even look at it really. But what I've started doing is doing like unplanned posts, which is what we were talking about, which is like I'm in my car, which is like where I live. And if like I have something like a thought that comes to me or something, I'm like, wow, I feel like people don't understand this thing, and maybe I can just explain it really quickly. I'll just like put it together and then edit it later. So I just like literally start filming and start talking. And then there's a free video app called Video Leap where you can edit your videos. So like there's so many like I'm cussing, I'm messing up, I'm like saying the wrong thing. You can like cut it. You can edit it, make it look like you didn't do any of that. And that's what I use. Like I don't have special like lighting. I don't you know, so that's the spontaneous stuff I've been doing, which actually has been the most, I've gotten the best feedback on, just because people are like, oh, I always wondered that thing or whatever. So, and it can be random things. It can be like, hey, here's a random misconception about our industry, or like, here's some of the first steps you do when you buy a home, or like, here are things I think are overrated. Like, I just kind of go off on whatever. And I like the unplanned stuff too, because I think it seems a little more real rather than like, so happy for my buyers that just pended this home. It's like, that's what you're supposed to do as a professional, but it's like, come on, guys. Like, it was hell just to get there. Like, that's all. That's how I'd break it down.
Oh, that's golden. Thank you. Steph, same question. Are your posts planned out or spur of the moment? If planned out, what does that look like?
The TikToks that are home tours are planned because I schedule through showing time, or if I know the agent, I reach out. Like with Phil's listing on Jefferson, I like text, he posted it and I was like, this is cute, I want to go. And he was like, okay. A lot of me, I interact a lot with Phil's social media and I love it. But so those are planned, obviously, because I need to like get into the home just like you would any agent preview, right? And then I try and not double post. So I've gotten much better on how I'm filming those, so we can talk about that offline if you want to get into Reels or TikTok. But I used to take like so long because I was like, oh my God, I have to film it like it's a shot. And then really I was like, oh, TikTok literally like can take everything and make it the best video ever. So I don't have to do that. So I can just go in and kind of get raw footage. But if it's just me, and if I'm doing like a funny one or just me being me, then it's very off the cuff, because it's probably like I've been scrolling or I'm seeing something or someone DM'd me and was like, what the F is earnest money, which is like one I made recently. So those are kind of like just on the fly.
That's so good. I'm going to show like a little bit how much of a social media novice I am through this. And I hope maybe that's helpful to some of you who are listening who are also social media novices. Steph, what does it mean to double post?
Oh yeah, sorry. So a double post is anytime you're posting 2 things in a day. So the Instagram algorithm supposedly wants you to post at least 10 stories a week, 4 to 7 reels, and 3 maybe I've seen a bunch of, I've heard daily story like posts, and then I've heard like 4 times a week. So so that's something to keep in mind. I think you can post a reels and a thing, but if I'm posting like 2 photos to my main feed anymore, I'm like, what am I, like 90? I'm not going to do that. Like my mom would do that.
Right. Okay, so your actual like a post versus a story, you post less than you.
Yeah, I don't
put
post
on
my main. I post on my main feed, but like not really.
Okay, got it. How often would you post on your main feed?
I do it like, I try and do it where like the other day I was like, oh, I gotta post on my main feed, and then I was like, I don't have any photos because we're in quarantine. So I just like took a photo of me wearing a jumpsuit and was like, here's this photo.
You look fab in that jumpsuit, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, agreed.
So yeah, but I would say like probably 3 to 4 times a week. It's really like stories and like reels are, and TikToks are like where my bread and butter is.
Got it. Okay, and I'm gonna ask another dumb question because
Not dumb.
I actually don't have a TikTok. I'm a millennial and I don't have a TikTok. I've never even been on it yet because I'm a little worried that it's going to eat up my entire life if I get on.
Yeah.
So when you make a video on TikTok, does it automatically go over to Insta? Like, can you set it up to like post on both at the same time? How does
my disclaimer for TikTok, and I will say this, is because I've gotten questions from other agents like in Platt and outside about it, is obviously, so TikTok's owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. And we all heard like TikTok's gonna get banned and all this stuff because there could be potential security and data breaches. And because the Chinese government does have a higher level of surveillance than the American tech companies. So that my disclaimer is like, if you want to get on TikTok, your age doesn't matter. Everyone's on TikTok. I know we all think it's like Gen Z. Like there was a a voice recording going around where someone was like, the older generation on TikTok, like people born after 1994, and everyone was like, what? Like, I think Oracle is in the plan, but it hasn't, like, it didn't officially, the sale hasn't officially happened yet, is what Steve just asked if they bought it. So Planet Money, the NPR podcast, is a really good, like, 20-minute about TikTok and security and all sorts of things. Definitely worth, like, listening to. That being said, TikTok's its own company, and it is a far superior, like, video product than Reels. Instagram made Reels to combat it, and literally, like, Reels sucks so much compared to, like, the video editing and the power you have and, like, the crazy, like things you can pull in. So not a bad thing. And honestly, TikTok's algorithm is also way better. So it's like the stuff they start to feed you, I mean, it's like all social, right? They know everything. So it's like the stuff they start to feed you is stuff you love. Like, it's like content you love. Like, it's so curated, and you're like, so I follow like a lot of home design, home improvements trending on TikTok right now. So there's like a ton of like reno stuff. I follow other realtors. I follow mortgage people. I follow a lot of cat videos because they just bring me, give me joy. But yeah.
Thank you, Steph. That was everything I wanted and more. Okay, thank you. Okay, Kristen, on to you. Are your posts planned out or spur of the moment? If planned out, tell me more.
So my answer is going to be a lot like Phil's. Mainly just like as stuff comes to me personally is when I post, or like Steph says, when I'm at a listing, I try to make sure I get good video and usually post it later, edit it down a little bit. But I am on a team. And so Sarah does a lot of our social media for our team, and she does a great job. I literally text her about 10 minutes before I started and said, what the F do you do? Like, because I know that are doing something, but I just repost it. And she said, she gave me some great insight that we plan using Sked, and we post daily, use hashtags. And we got some great advice from someone who helped us with our branding a little bit, who said, really pick your buckets that you're posting about. So we try really hard to focus on 5 different things that we're posting about. It's agent info, like more about our team, info about real estate in general, and then our pending sales, et cetera. So we kind of focus on those things to hone in on that. And I love being on a team, and that's another reason I love being on a team, because I don't even have to think about that. I text Sarah 10 minutes before and say, what do you do? And she saves me. But I do really love like sharing what our team does and reposting those things, just so that people can see I'm a bigger entity than just one person. So
that's so good. Okay, guys, I'm going to throw you some questions that I didn't prep you with. And if you're ever on a panel where I'm leading it, just know that this is going to happen, because I think a lot while y'all are talking. So there's lots of social media platforms. I think the main ones that I see you guys using are Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, maybe Twitter, question mark. Do realtors use Twitter? Yeah, no, okay. Do you have a preference? Maybe, Steph? Yeah, maybe. Sure. Some realtor out there, I'm sure, uses Twitter a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of those 3 main ones, or maybe probably Facebook and Instagram would be the most popular. Which one's the best for you, and why do you like it? Phil, you first.
I personally love Instagram. Like, I love that it feels more interactive, it's more visual. You're scrolling through photos, and if a photo interests you, then you read the caption, and it's just a little more like stimulating. I don't know if that's the right word. I feel like I remember the day Facebook transitioned from this platform where we would like add our photo albums and like tag our friends in high school, to then it shifted to like news. Like, I literally remember the day where it just like my feed was just full of news articles, and Facebook started to transition more to like being informative. Like, I don't know, I guess people just like go to Facebook to like get their news, which is fine. But it has kind of changed the tone of like, I feel like I am more trying to post like, IBJ articles or, inside Indiana business, stuff like that through Facebook, and actually it's like more like a LinkedIn for me, honestly, where it's like, here's just my more professional, like what's going on and what we're pending. And whereas Instagram is like, I mentioned that I have the plan posts, which is what Steph was saying, like it goes to your feed, and those stay there forever. But then you have stories which disappear after 24 hours. So the thing I love about Instagram is I can post a story of something I'm doing or some sort of like information I'm giving, and then it disappears. But it gives some it gives some people like something to check into every day, and they're like, oh, I wonder what Phil's going to talk about tomorrow or the next day. So it just feels more interactive. I have like a lot more people talk with me on Instagram and just ask me like great like real estate related questions and stuff like that. I'm kind of like surprised. It's always weird because it's like, oh, you could just text me, but it's like people feel very comfortable like DMing you or direct messaging you or PMing you, whatever. But
I think DM is typically how people, right? The slide
That's what I say.
into the DMs. Yeah.
Yes. That's what
Right.
people seem to feel comfortable with doing. And I have gotten clients like through Instagram. I have gotten them through Facebook too, but it's much more like through Facebook, it's like, good evening, Phil. I am inquiring, da, 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 da. Whereas on Instagram, they're like, yo, I need help. So anyway,
Yeah.
they're just
that's
different.
good. Yeah. Kristen, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I too prefer Instagram just for what I'm creating. Usually, I just feel like their tools are better. I do love TikTok, but I feel stupid on TikTok. I have made TikToks, but it's hard for me.
It is an art form.
It is. It
Not one
totally
that
is.
I would excel at either.
I did it more during quarantine because we were stuck in the house, and yeah. Anyways, I do agree with Phil. I like Instagram better. I also feel like as an agent, you really need to know your kind of target audience age. Like a lot of my parents' friends who are buying houses are not on Instagram. They're on Facebook. So I really try to keep a good mix of where I'm posting. I do get more interaction from older clients on Facebook. And sometimes older clients are further along in their life and buying more houses. So maybe you need to post there more. And I do get more interaction with people on Instagram through DMs. I try to respond to them within a timely manner, and also just really, I don't know, just like make it a really like friendly conversation and very low key so that they feel comfortable asking me questions and asking me do you know what kind of flooring that is? And me providing them a quick answer of, yeah, it's a tile and it looks like wood. Isn't that so cool? I found a link here. You can get it here. Or I showed a house last week and someone's like, do you know where that table was? I messaged the stager, got back to them, gave them a link to the table. And it's just easy. So I love that.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. Yeah, it's not just people reaching out to you saying like, hey, I want to buy a house, but you're truly like being a resource for people playing that connector role, which is awesome. Steph, do you have anything to comment on that question?
I'm not really. So when we moved from Chicago last year, I deleted all my social media because I was like, I'm done. I've done it. And then now when I became an agent, I was like, oh God, I have to do this again. So I restarted an Instagram, which is also a lot of my friends were like, some accounts following me with your photo. And I'm like, it's me. But Instagram's always been like it for me, but I do think it's phasing out. And I think especially for realtors, it's important to like just be aware of, especially like Instagram things that are happening. So Instagram, if you remember, they like moved, it's either like the stories button or it was like the likes button, and then replaced it with the shopping button recently. Like it's just so commerce driven, which is good for some businesses, but it's just like something to be mindful of. They make it really hard for creators to keep creating content and keep on top of things, and they change the app a lot. So it's like that's not going to lead to success really in the long term, you know, of continuing to grow. So it's hard for me to be like, because I'm like, I love Instagram, I've had it, I love it, but it's just like, it's going to be TikTok, it's going to be Clubhouse, which I know like Ryan Rominger is on. It's going to be all these other things. Although Clubhouse is like, I haven't like gotten into it yet because it's problematic, to repeat a word, for some. But like, I think especially as realtors, like what Kristen and Phil said, like being able to give quick, concise like info to your people and connect with them immediately is so important. And like, I don't know if it's just me, but when I was working in Chicago as an event producer, they'd be like, we need a nail art technician for this pop-up event. And I'd just straight up DM someone. I'd like DM people. I used to book a comedy show. I'd like DM artists, be like, your bit was really funny, you want to come do a set? So like DMing to me is like texting. And I think I've found that like some newer people that I'm like newly interacting with are like, why are you DMing me? Like, why is this girl following me? And I'm like, what? So it's just like, it's actually the point of the app, right? So I've gotten a client from Instagram. I've gotten like questions because like Kristen said, knowing your niche is so important. And they used to say like your niche is who you were 3 years ago. Like that's who your audience is. So 3 years ago, like I didn't know shit about real estate. So that's why my audience is like, how do you pay a realtor? You know what I mean? So it's because I would have asked that. So that was very long-winded. Anyways, I hate Facebook. People keep friend requesting me. That's fine. I don't post anything there. It's the worst. I hate it so much.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, Britt, great question. I'm going to ask that right now. Do you guys think a multi-generational strategy for social media includes all of them? So Facebook for veteran boomer, Instagram for Gen X or older millennials, TikTok, Clubhouse, etc. for Gen Z. And also I'm going to make a comment for those of you who don't know, because I just learned this last week. Clubhouse is a new-ish social media platform. It's been around for about a year, and it's focused on audio clips, or at least that's what I've accepted.
It's like a panel discussion. Basically, you enter like panel discussions and can listen in.
Yeah. Okay, so for Britt's question, what do you guys think about that? Steph? You first.
I think that's pretty much it. I would say, like, you know, we've all seen that meme that's like your LinkedIn profile, like your Facebook photo, like your Instagram one, and like I do think there's different vibes for each. And I think we are all multifaceted people. Yes, you want to keep your brand consistent, but like we can be different things, you know? And I think what Kristen and Phil were saying, but like Kristen was saying specifically about older generation and getting that target audience on Facebook is like extremely important. That's not my strategy, but it is like definitely an identified strategy that would work. I think if you are not concerned about TikTok on your phone, which I'm not, because we have Google and Google literally knows where I am at every time in the day. But that's my own personal preference, so no hate on that. But if you aren't worried, like concerned, then like we should all be on TikTok because we all have something to offer.
That's great stuff. Phil, what do you think? Multi-generational strategy.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, like my social media contextualizes to the platform and to kind of the audience age. And that's not me like, oh, I'm pretending to like understand 50-year-olds right now. Like I genuinely like am really good friends with people in their 50s and 60s and so forth. So it's like understanding what everyone's different, but like some demographics have very different like hopes and dreams and all that stuff. So like contextualizing to that. But that being said, I will never be able to, when I'm like 40, be cool to like a 20-year-old. I don't think. Like I'll never be able to like, I don't think I'll be able to do it like in reverse. I think other people could do that very well, but like I'm gonna be like, hey.
Hey, youths. I don't think that.
I'm gonna be like the dad who's like, let me help
People
you,
want
or
a
the
dad.
uncle, the cool uncle, but like maybe not cool, but the uncle, and I will not be like the peer. But I know that about myself, and I'm okay with that. So
Oh,
answer
Phil,
the
I don't know
question.
that I could have hoped for a better answer from that. I think I can speak for the entire group that's on this call and say, well, that's not fair. I'm younger than you. I'm here for your cool uncle posts all day long. Anyway, Kristen, do you
About
have
that,
any?
yeah. I mean, I think I kind of already said what I do believe in kind of targeting different ages on different things. And I think that's a great question, Britt. And I think definitely a strategy you could do. I kind of looked back through my social media to kind of see like the most interaction. I do have my own realtor Facebook page that I don't post on a ton. I'm trying to do like once or twice a week right now for that older group that is following me. I only have like 300 followers, but they do share my posts and things like that. But anyways, I looked back and like the posts that I post on Facebook that get the most interaction from that kind of older group is the sales that have a story associated with them, where I've, said how I know the buyer and how we got there and how the process went. And it just is a kind of feel good. I know it was hell getting there, Phil. Yes. But nobody knows that there. They just know I was this lady's flower girl 30 years ago. And then I sold her son a house 30 years later. And I posted the picture of us when I was a flower girl and then the picture of when I sold her son a house, and everybody
That's awesome.
that shit up. So on Facebook, I'll say that maybe is not a TikTok post, but the older generation,
No,
I
it
think
can be. Do it.
sometimes I just feel like the older generation does like the like feel good story behind the sale. So
You know what? Maybe this is just me being my old soul, but I love those feel good stories too.
Yeah, that is an awesome story.
Yeah.
Roll it
I love
out.
that. Yeah, seriously. Okay. Steph, you already touched on this, so I'm going to skip you, but do you guys consider algorithms as you plan at all? Like what's the best time to post, how much to post? Does that factor in, or are you guys just like, no, I'm just posting? Phil.
I mean, Steph like rattled it off like boom, 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 like what Instagram wants to see you do, which is a certain amount of stories, a certain amount of posts, which is funny because that's kind of, even that's a moving target. Like I remember 3 years ago knowing right off the bat, like Instagram wants to see me post this much at this times, this spaced out, etc. And I know it changes a lot. So personally, I don't have like the mental capacity to like keep up with it all the time, but I do generally try to do like more stories than posts. When I do create a post on Instagram, just making it like choosing a nicer one because it's out there forever. I mean, everything is, right? But um, I do try to use hashtags. There's some, even that it's like if you use the same hashtags all the time, it isn't always as helpful, but like, you want to switch them up a little bit, and there's all that kind of stuff, and it's just like you kind of have to decide for yourself how much you want to like really engage in those kind of metrics, because we're busy, and if we're not busy now, we will be really busy eventually. So oh, the other thing, yeah, there is like, and maybe Steph can correct me if it's changed, but I believe the best times to post are between like 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So while people are taking a break or eating lunch, that's when the posts like can populate into their feed, or like in the evening from like 7 to 9 p.m. At least those are the times that people are typically like on their phones the most, I believe. I don't know if that means like that's when you should post. I don't even follow that. I'm just like, I'm in between a showing, so I'm going to record a video. I'm not going to like, yeah, like set a timer on my, calendar or anything like that.
Yeah, that's great. Kristen, anything to add there?
I just try to post often, just so that I feel like I don't fall off the wagon, kind of. And then I did ask Sarah, our posts go out at 7 p.m. I'm not totally sure of her thought process behind that, but we do post later in the day. I do feel like I do a lot of my scrolling at night. I don't know about you guys. So I do feel like that's relevant. This is just something that popped up, but I oftentimes am like looking at my phone in a like quieter space and don't have my sound on. So I think captions are really important if you're doing like Phil's RAV4 talks. I think it's great to throw something on there that is relevant to what you're saying or even the actual words that you're saying. Because honestly, if you have 15 slides in a row, I'm going to click through them because I'm not listening because I don't have my sound on. Sorry.
No, that's so good. Thanks. How do you guys create content? And I don't need you to do like a step-by-step, this is how you create a TikTok video, but like, are you creating your content on Canva? Are you creating it directly in the platform? Are you creating it in some kind of editor and then uploading it to a platform? What works for you? So I'm going to start with you.
This is why I'm not ever going to be cool. I use PowerPoint. I get on PowerPoint.
Excuse me?
Oh,
I'm just more like, how?
It's not hard. I mean,
Wonderful.
you get on PowerPoint, you size the background to whatever size your phone is for that image, and I just like copy and paste and
Can we get a PowerPoint on how you do a PowerPoint on social?
yeah.
That would be great.
PowerPoint. So yeah, that's what I use. I like started messing with Canva and like, I don't know, I just like didn't feel like learning something new. But yeah, that's what I use. And it's not that tricky. Once like I've just decided like, okay, this is the plat background of like the city mile square, and like I'm just gonna keep reusing that. And maybe I'm being too like lazy about it, but it's what I do.
So we are taking your Canva account away from you. You are not worthy. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Kristen, over to you.
Don't use PowerPoint, but more power to you, Phil. I do use Canva a lot. And honestly, I use a lot of the tools on Instagram, like Boomerang and all that. I feel like as far as like creating content, I think a big mistake a lot of realtors make is like zooming around a room. I get sick when I watch some people's videos. So like go slow, guys. Like if you're taking a shot, like go slower than you think you need to. That's my advice for the day.
So good. Steph, how do you create content?
I don't really, I mean, I don't really use Canva for that, but I started using Splice, which is like a more video editor type thing. And I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I don't have like really an external one I use.
Yeah, that's great. Guys, you've each touched on this a little bit, but what does engagement on your channels look like? When people are messaging you or liking something, do you respond to every comment or every DM? Have you ever gotten a lead from social media, which I think almost all of you have? If you have, like, what has that looked like? Can you give us a story behind that? Steph, you first.
I think the biggest thing that I've found has really garnered engagement is questions, like the questions button on Instagram, because people like want to write something and or like polls or that has been nice, and I do answer everyone. I also I've heard that like if someone follows you, you follow them back and message them right away. So especially I try to follow a lot of realtors so I can just see like how other people are posting and listings, right? And so I'll follow a realtor and then DM them, which I usually didn't DM them in my past life like that, being like, I like your feed. Like, that's not my scene really, but I try to be like, oh, you're doing this open house? That house is really cool. Great listing, and make it like specific about something that kind of pushes your engagement up. Also, the more you engage with another account, the more they're going to see your content because of Instagram's newest algorithm. So that's why I try and do that. I don't know the other part, but yeah.
Steph, have you gotten a lead through social media?
Oh,
and if so, what does that look like?
Yeah. Yes. I'm new. But yeah, I mean, I've started like a buyer search essentially, like kind of far out, but like people like interested questions. Joel has a really good question he sent in the chat that I think that is like kind of tied into that.
Yeah, you can go ahead and address it. I'll read Joel's question aloud. People seem to use social media two ways. One, to bring in new business and expand your sphere of influence, or two, to cater to and keep momentum with your already acquired client base. How do you view it for your business? You're right, that ties totally into what we're talking about.
I don't really have a lot of clients because I'm new, and that's okay. So I'm not like trying to like garner them, you know what I mean? But I do think that bringing in new business is great, but expanding the sphere, I'd like to also I'm very like, I have a mutual aid organization. I'm very social justice focused with my master's of social work that I'm pursuing. Like I have other things that I'm trying to see, like those people need to buy a house too. Like they need to, if I follow them and interact with them and they're like, it's my classmate. I had classmates be like, oh, you're a realtor? So it's like that thing is like, I'm trying to kind of show that I'm multifaceted. That makes sense?
Yes, that's perfect. Thanks, Steph. Kristen, what does your social media engagement look like? Do you respond to every comment? I could ask a million follow-up questions. I'm just gonna let you roll with it.
I definitely try to respond to each direct message that I get. If it's a comment on a post, I just like hit the heart and like it, just to acknowledge I saw it or whatever. And then as far as have I gotten a lead from social media, I think the first year of my business, 1/3 of my sales were from social media, which blew my mind. And it was people I had not talked to in 15 years from high school who were like, hey, I'm moving to your area. I saw you're a realtor and I trust you and I know you. They trust and know 18-year-old me from high school, which cracks me up. I'm like, you don't even know who I am now. I could be a psychopath. But anyways, I was blown away by that personally. And it's what has kept me posting because I have seen such good interaction from that and seen such an outreach from the sphere that I had so long ago. So I've seen great success from that.
Oh my God, that's so good. I can't believe 1/3 of your business your first year. Jeez, that's incredible.
It was wild. Yeah.
That's so good. Phil, anything to add there? What does engagement look like?
Yeah, I mean, I try to respond right away. I don't always do a good job, but I think it's like we've all been on the flip side of those engagements, right? Where you like comment on someone's photo or you like direct message them and you don't hear back for like a day and you're like, oh, I feel awkward. Like, do they hate me? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I try to like respond quickly and just like interact. Cause I mean, people, being in a pandemic, like people just crave relationship and interaction so bad. And I know social media isn't like, it's not face to face. It's not, quite to that level at all. But like, it's people are want to be affirmed. So if you like their comment or if you respond to their posts, like you're not the one being weird, like you're continuing the conversation or whatever. So that's really good. Yeah, I've gotten clients from both. I even got a client through like LinkedIn. I like post there like once every 3 months. But usually like on LinkedIn, I like post like very like market kind of like what's going on, like what did the last year look like and projections and that kind of stuff of like how's Indiana's health or Indianapolis's health. And yeah, someone really liked that and was like, you created a beautiful PowerPoint image that was very easy to explain or like very easy to understand, and like that was great. So don't diss the PowerPoint.
Oh God,
But-
I'm never gonna get over the PowerPoint.
But to Joel's question, I actually use those things primarily just to stay like top of mind. I'm not like trying to find new like, oh, I need to follow this person because I want them. But like people are just bombarded with so many, and everyone like is starting to know a lot of realtors. And so yeah, I just want to like maintain that interaction and like just trust of like, look, I know what I'm talking about, and maybe what I'm talking about today relates to what you need to hear or whatever. So
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, the last official question I have is, what tips would you give to brand new agents who are just starting to build out their social media with like a realtor focus? Specifically, I would like to know if there's any like social media pet peeves that you have that you're like, guys, please don't be a person who does this. Kristen, I feel like you might have an answer already. Am I wrong? You go first.
Okay, I will. I put for this question something that Phil just touched on, and that is a reminder to engage with your audience. You know, when your client posts a cute picture of their kid, like it. Don't just put your information out there and not interact with them as well. It's really important what you're doing outside of your posts. So I think keeping that in mind is helpful. And then I have touched on this too, but you know, people are on social media and you have just a quick second to get their attention. Like they did not sign up for a 20-minute TED Talk. So keep it short, keep it sweet, put captions on there so that they know what you're talking about if they don't have their sound on. I think that's really important. People, yeah, they may watch, but they may not make it all the way through. So put the most important information at the front. And then lastly, what else did I put? Don't just post that you sold a property. Like, what value does that provide? It doesn't provide any value, really. I mean, people know you sold a property in Fountain Square, great. But they may want to hear that you beat out 8 other offers, or they may want to hear that you have worked that area for this long or whatnot. So add some relevant information, not just sold. Like, tell us a little more, please. So,
Kristen, that's so good. Yeah, people want a story. You know, I think not everyone is like hungry to hear about. Like, I mean, I think everyone's excited that people are doing well, but I think, yeah, you want more than that.
I have a pet peeve. I just remembered it. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're a realtor and you're new, if you decide to share what you've sold this year or during any point of the year, include what you have closed only. Do not put what you have pended. Do not put what you have listed, because that is not a true representation of your sales. Put what you have closed, what you have got to the closing table and walked away. Like, don't put, I have 20 million pending, listed, and sold. That is not a true representation of what you've done. Sorry, that is my TED Talk for the day.
Kristen, so many snaps for that. That's so great. I think as much as we can represent the data as it is, it's very important. Steph.
There was so much fire in your voice in that, Kristen, that I feel it was like so passionate, and I'm just so inspired.
I am all about the truth, Steph. So if
I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved that. What was the question, Rosie? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. As new.
Phil.
Here we go. Oh my gosh.
Mute.
No.
I hope none of those deals fall apart for you, Phil.
Oh my gosh.
Knock on wood, buddy.
Steph, as new agents are building out their social media channels, what advice would you give them specifically? Are there any pet peeves that you're like, don't do this?
Yeah, because it's me right now. You know, I think I am like, I don't know. I feel like what Kristen said. I love Kristen's channel. We started following her. We started following each other after, you know, you put us together, and I love that it's like real. You know, she's mom, she's working, she's doing all this stuff, and it's like legit. Feels like fucking putting up board and batten in his kid's room. Like it's just like real shit that's fun to watch. I don't know. I am not like a posed photo. I'm not a headshot person. If that's your scene, that is fine. I'm not here to like downplay that, but I'm like, know thyself, right? Like that's not what I'm gonna be. And if that's who you are, great. But I would think like some originality. We're all, you know, unique human beings with different senses of humor and different styles. Like showcase that. If I see another, my pet peeve right now is, and I'm sorry, a lot of you have done this and it's okay, but I'm just like, this is my pet peeve, is like if I see another one post that's like, the market is really hot right now and inventory is so low, and it's like, yeah, no shit, we've been talking about this for like 8 months, you know. And so maybe what I would love to hear is if I were like a new agent, and oh, I have another one after this, agent, is that like, well, okay, how did you win that offer, right? Like, did you don't have to go in the nitty gritty and be like, and I did a 20% down, no inspection contingency, but you can be like, this is how, like, you know, we really worked hard to make our offer more appealing or something. Like, I think that's really interesting. The second thing is, we're not here to like, I'm not here at least to like compete against everyone else. Like, we're all putting out different content and a lot of it's the same because we all work in the same industry. So it's like, for example, I had a couple questions the other day. One of them was like, and Angelica knows this because I DM'd her about it, but one of them was like house hacking. And Angelica already had posted like a 2-minute video that was really good about house hacking. So I just reposted hers. And I was like, this is Angelica. She's great. Follow her. And here's a really good explanation. Like, I don't need to act like, you know, mine is superior. You're allowed to put your own spin on things, but I think supporting each other, following each other, liking each other's stuff, we're all like in this together. It's kind of like going to a networking event in my mind. Like, I'm going to meet you. Also, I might meet you at the freaking negotiation table, like, you know, on a deal, on a listing for my clients. So I want to know who you are and what you're about. Welcome to my TED Talk. Kristen would mute me.
No, she wouldn't. Okay, 2 things that I just wanted to highlight there. One, like, just be yourself. Like, I think social media is the most interesting when it's a true reflection of who you are. And then 2, support each other. Yeah. Phil, what you got?
Yeah, totally. I think even with social media, you can have an abundance mentality. It's not just me. Gosh, I love your guys' answers. But yeah, I'd second, like, people want to be engaged in your story, not just like even posts that are like celebratory of like, here's how many millions we did this year. It's like, people don't know what that means. Like, people don't really care. But if you're like, but here's how it fits into the bigger story of like my family's life and how we were able to be generous through your trust in us and stuff like that. Like, that's what people love. And people get burned out seeing you post about yourself being the hero. Like, we gotta, when we post, like, it's the client that's the hero. Or even like my $1 million pending posts made my assistant the hero, because I was like, there's no way a year ago I could manage that or even contract that much, because I needed her, and like, here's what she's doing for me. And we've kind of hit on it, or but like, the amazing thing about social media and the crazy dangerous thing is that you can project a completely false identity. Like, I could get my hair cut and have like amazing professional photos of me like leaning over the edge of a 100-story building, being like, ask me how I got here. It's like, what the fuck? So like, that's the crazy thing about social media, because there's so many agents out there like that. But so the point is, like, you can fool people into following you, but you can't fool people once they're your client. Like when you are driving them around, showing them homes, they're going to be like, Phil, where's your Bentley? Or like, Phil, why aren't you wearing that Hillary Clinton pantsuit or whatever you posed in? I don't know. But like, so anyway, I just think like you have to like be, I really wish people's social media reflected like who they truly acted like, because it's going to come up to bite you in the butt. Like if you want to put on a facade, or if you want to, like, you have to continue that through your career, because once you get busy, like, I mean, when I get really busy, it's like social media just like goes away. So also, like, I guess my tip is like make something that's manageable for you, that's sustainable, not like, don't feel like you have to post a million things every day or follow all those algorithms. But like, yeah, just if we're gonna work really hard to project a false identity, I mean, it's just, people can smell it, one, and two, they will find out. It's like they're gonna catch on. So that's why I'm like shameless that I drive a RAV. I'm like, hey, I like my RAV. Like, I'm the RAV and realtor or whatever. So that's gonna drive that car till I die, or till the car dies, not till I die. I'm dying that soon.
Phil, that was amazing. Thank you for that answer. Guys, I have totally not left ton of space for questions, so hope you drop them into the chat if you have them. I'm going to close out by saying that social media is this weird ethereal space that can sometimes bring a lot of light to people's lives and can sometimes have a really dark underbelly. And I want to thank the three of you, Kristen, Phil, and Steph, for what I see is bringing light to the world, and to expanding knowledge about real estate. So thank you truly for the content that you're putting out and for sharing your ideas with us today. So to everyone else, we have a session tomorrow on taxes. You don't know, taxes are crazy in real estate, and we have a CPA that many of us here at Platt use. I use him. His name's Tom Long. Anyway, we had him here about almost a year ago, and it's probably been one of the best sessions. So I hope you can make it tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. And now we're going to, like the 1800s, wave to one another as we sign off. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.